당신의 자부심이 부산의 미래를 만듭니다. 이 캠페인은 대선공익재단과 부산영어방송이 함께합니다. 모든 지식을 인공지능이 찾아주는 시대. 하지만 정답을 찾는 기술보다 중요한 것은 세상을 새롭게 바라보는 눈입니다. 예술을 경험한다는 것은 익숙한 세상을 새롭게 바라보게 하고, 예술을 교육한다는 것은 인공지능 시대에 맞는 인재를 키우게 합니다. 바다를 품은 자연과 활기찬 도시의 일상이 예술이 되고 영감이 되는 곳. 부산이라는 거대한 도화지 위에서 창의력이 피어나고 상상력이 자라납니다. 예술로 생각이 자라는 도시, 예술도시 부산. 이 캠페인은 창의적 사고로 예술을 키우는 동서대학교 앵커 사업단과 부산 영어방송이 함께합니다.
We are the Zero Waste Rangers.
To save Mother Earth, just remember the 5 R's. Would you like a bag for that?
No thanks. I brought my own bag. Number 1, refuse. Just say no to things you do not need.
This shirt is so out of style.
Why not take it to a flea market? Number 2, reduce. Buy only what you need and share with your neighbors.
1 iced Americano coming right up.
Can I get that in my tumbler? Number 3, reuse. Single use, that's not how we do things.
This is such a hassle. Let's just throw it all in together.
You've got to peel off the labels and rinse them out. Number 4, recycle. Rinse it, peel it, and recycle properly.
This looks different from other sponges.
It's a biodegradable loofah. Number 5, rot. Choose a product that returns to nature.
Refuse, reduce,
Reuse, recycle,
and rot. The 5R pledge to protect our planet.
Want to be a friend of BFM Busan 영어 방송? You can chat with BFM through our Kakao Talk service. You can share your messages and photos through Kakao Talk, and you can easily become BFM's Kakao friend by searching BFM through the Find a Friend option. Come share and chat with us at BFM anytime, anywhere for free. Don't forget to add BFM 부산 영어 방송 to your Kakao friends list.
지금 방송 광고라는 부메랑을 던져보세요. 소비자를 향해 정확히 날아가는 광고. 힘차게 돌아가는 경제. 부메랑처럼 다시 기업의 이익으로 되돌아오니까요. 방송 광고, 경제에 큰 힘이 됩니다. 부산 방송광고발전협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
South Korea and Canada. We have this very robust, multifaceted partnership underpinned by the Korea-Canada Comprehensive Strategic Partnership launched in 2022. You know, let's put the formalities aside. The two countries have strong ties strengthened by cultural and education exchanges, and those are just two. However, putting all that aside, South Korea, with Hanwha Ocean at the forefront, lost its bid to win Canada's next generation submarine project. And this was a huge disappointment for not just the company, but for the entire country. After months of high-level campaigning by the government, the Navy, and of course Hanwha. The bigger question may be this, though. Is the NATO alliance too big of a wall to break through. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Wednesday, July 8th on BEFM 부산 영어 방송. Good morning, Wavers. Welcome to the program on this Wednesday. Can you believe it's already hump day? So, yes, in the opening, I talked about the decision that was announced yesterday by Canada. And that decision is still reverberating here domestically. So at least wanted to address it. Well, I hope that you're doing well surviving the heat. I almost said heat. It's heat plus humidity. So, yeah, it's a new word I just made up. I hope you're surviving it because can definitely feel it now here in Busan as well. So let's get through this summer in one piece. And this text topic is related to something we might be talking about later on. So here it is. Where do you like to go grocery shopping? So these days there are so many choices. 자, 나는 주로 장 어디서 본다. Whether it's like a really big supermarket like 대형마트, whether it's a traditional market, right, where it's 재래시장, or maybe online. Wherever it is, we want to hear about your grocery shopping, where you do the bulk of it. And you might have different options, maybe 2-3 different places you go to. So send in your responses to BFM's live stream, live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform, type in BEFM or 부산 영어 방송 to find our channel. Subscribe, log in, and chat with other wavers from your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That will cost you 100 won. Also, you can reach me for free on Kakao Talk. Find our account first. Type in BEFM, 부산 영어 방송. And once you do, you can add us as a friend before you can send in your messages and photos as well. And the ways you can tune into our program, Morning Wave in Busan, 90.5 or 103.3 FM. That's if you're in the Busan area. We are streaming live right now on YouTube. So come check us out on that medium. Also available on the BEFM app and Papang app. Now let's get into our lineup for this Wednesday. We have Jian for Now in Busan. That is our local news segment. We have Haley for top stories. Also, we have Jennifer for she's coming in for Work Smart, Live Smart. And then in hour number 2, we have Food for Thought with Haley and Leon. And for our special interview today, we are focusing on AI once again and with the future of employment. Because I think that is probably one of the biggest questions people have about this. Is AI going to take my job? Or is it going to enhance my job? So many questions. Let's find out with our expert that's coming up in hour number 2. For now, we're going to turn to Jian for our local news. Good morning.
Happy Hump Day.
Yes, it is already.
Yes.
So before we dive into some of our local news in Now in Busan, how do you go grocery shopping? Where do you go?
I think I'm going everywhere.
Oh.
So I use online platforms, not only one, but multiple ones, because it depends.
Yes.
Like sometimes they give larger cashback, sometimes they come like earlier. And I also go to local markets. Thanks to the 동백전 incentive, the cashback is so huge that I have to
It is
use the
good.
local. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. To
Oh,
get
well,
more fresh one.
Thank you for sharing. And that's
course.
another great point that you make about the local shopping. Well, we're going to jump into our first story. Another major shipping company is relocating to Busan. So what company are we talking about?
Following HMM, shipping company 흥아 Shipping will also move its headquarters to Busan. It becomes the 4th shipping company to relocate under the current administration, reinforcing the government's plan to build Busan into a maritime hub.
Yes, and why is the company making the move?
The company says it wants to grow into a global specialty shipping company focused on eco-friendly large vessels. Since Busan already has Korea's largest maritime cluster, it believes the city offers the best environment for future growth and collaboration across the shipping industry.
Yes, well, when will the relocation happen?
The board approved the relocation on Monday, July 6th, and Hưng Shipping says it plans to complete the move by the end of this year. The announcement was made at an official event in Seoul, attended by government officials and industry representatives.
Well, I hear that there is an interesting history behind this particular company.
Yes, Hưng Shipping was actually founded in Busan back in 1961, and it later moved its headquarters to Seoul in 1986. So after nearly 4 decades, the company is returning to its original hometown.
Wow, what a story. So welcome back home is probably what we should be saying to this company. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the mayor who shared his long-term vision for Busan this week. So what did he say?
Yes, during a special lecture for city employees, Busan Mayor Jeon Jae-soo said the city's top priority is to build a maritime capital with such strong foundations. He said the government has announced massive regional investment plans across the country, but believes developing Busan as a maritime capital has the greatest chance of becoming a reality.
So going back to shipping companies, did he give a message regarding shipping companies?
Yes, his message is pretty simple. He believes shipping companies may lose competitiveness if they do not move to Busan, where maritime-related functions are becoming increasingly concentrated. As more administrative, legal, financial, and business functions are concentrated in the city, he says Busan will become the center of the Korea's maritime industry.
And what role does the new maritime court play?
That one, a specialized maritime court, is scheduled to open in Busan in 2028. The mayor said Busan should eventually compete with London and Singapore in handling international maritime disputes. He even suggested creating a graduate program to train professional legal interpreters and translators for English language maritime trials.
Well, what about Arctic shipping routes? Was that addressed as well?
Yes, he noted that cargo traffic through Arctic shipping routes has increased more than tenfold over the past decade. With its geographic location and strong port infrastructure, he believes Busan is well positioned to become a key gateway in the Arctic shipping era.
And the city's also preparing its workforce for this?
That's right. The mayor said he plans to ask the labor minister to establish a training program for Arctic certified maritime officers at a local polytechnic college. He stressed that without qualified crews, even the best ships cannot operate, so preparing skilled professionals is essential for the future.
All right, thanks for reporting on that. Well, Busan has won the bid to host another major international maritime event, correct?
That's right. Busan has been unanimously selected to host the 2027 General Assembly of the International Association of Cities and Ports, or AIVP. The decision was made during this year's General Assembly held in France.
Yes, well, we always welcome these huge events. Why is this such a significant achievement, though?
It's a major milestone because this will be the first time Korea has ever hosted the event. It will also be the first AIVP General Assembly held in Asia in 25 years since China hosted it in 2002.
Yes, well, let's go over what helped Busan win the bid.
So the city spent months promoting its proposal. Officials actively met with AIVP board members and member organizations ahead of the vote, highlighting Busan's strong position as a global port city and its vision for sustainable maritime development.
All right, so another one coming to our city. Well, next, let's talk about that. There has been a major development involving a former Busan mayoral candidate, Chung Hee-an, correct?
Yes. Police have requested an arrest warrant for former Reform Party Busan mayoral candidate Chung Hee-han over allegations that an attack during his election campaign was staged. Prosecutors later filed a warrant request with the court, and today a court will decide whether to detain him.
Yes, and what charges is he looking at right now?
He's accused of obstructing public officials through deception and violating the Public Official Election Act. The man who allegedly threw the drink is also facing the same warrant request.
Yes. Well, why did the investigation take a different look, a different angle or direction.
Investigators later found suspicious circumstances surrounding the case. They have been looking into the relationship between Chong and the man who threw the drink, including whether they communicated before the incident and may have planned it together. Separately, police are also looking into other allegations involving his campaign activities and a polling organization connected to him.
All right, thank you for the update on that story. All right, moving on to some good news for commuters. And I know we mentioned this before. It's regarding the 광안대교 Bridge, but we want the good news.
Yes, starting today, July 8th, Busan will completely remove toll fees on 광안대교 Bridge during rush hours. Previously, drivers received only a 50% discount, but the toll will now be fully waived during designated commuting times.
Well, that's good news, but we need to know the specifics. When will the free toll period apply?
The exemption will apply on weekdays from 6 to 9 in the morning and from 6 to 8 in the evening. All vehicles passing through 광안대교 Bridge during these hours will be eligible and no prior registration is required.
Yes, and why did Busan decide to expand this benefit?
The city says the measure is aimed at easing the financial burden on commuters and improving convenience for citizens. It is also part of Busan's broader transportation support policies.
Yes. And has Gwangan Bridge offered any discounts prior to this?
Actually, yes. Busan first introduced a 20% rush hour toll discount in 2009. The discount rate was increased to 50% in 2018, and last year, the morning discount period was extended by 1 hour, starting from 6 a.m. instead of 7 a.m.
Yes, well, are there any other roads with maybe similar benefits?
Busan is already providing free rush hour tolls on Ulsukdo Bridge and Sansang Tunnel as well as part of its efforts to support daily commuting.
Yes, anything to help all the little things they add up. Thank you for all the local news. We'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Jian.
Thank you.
All right. Well, waivers out there, it's time for your traffic and weather that's coming up next. It's time for your traffic report. It's congested on the Dongso overpass from Hwangyong Ramp to Kaegum. It's backed up on Mandakdero from Minam to Mandok intersection. There's traffic building on Gwangnam-lo from Dongbang 5-way intersection to KBS 3-way intersection. It's also slow on Luno-Samsung-dero from Myeongji underpass to Shinho Bridge. Currently, it's already 28 degrees Celsius here in Busan under cloudy skies, but the real field temperature is already at 38 degrees due to, I believe it's 28? 38 due to humidity. And the daytime high will go up to 29 to 30 degrees. Busan is under a heat wave impact preliminary weather report. Across the nation, heavy rain in Gyeonggi, parts of Gangwon, and Chungnam. And the rain front is moving up and down the country with heavy rain forecasts across the center area, plus Honam and the Gyeongbuk region, so please be prepared. Strong winds in Gangwon, the central region, Honam, and Jeju. However, blazing heat in the southeastern region. This was your traffic and weather. This is the morning brief. We have some breaking news. This just in, U.S. launches attacks on Iran. The United States has launched a series of strikes against Iran for attacking commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz, said the U.S. Central Command. President calls for raising defense industry partnership with NATO. President Lee Jae-myung stressed the need to enhance cooperation between South Korea and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, insisting that combining NATO's vast experience with South Korea's advanced defense technology would boost the security capabilities of both sides. Samsung Electronics stocks dropped despite record quarterly report. Shares of Samsung Electronics plummeted nearly 7% yesterday despite posting a record near 90 trillion won second quarter operating profit, with the Kospi ending 5 points down. Prosecutors raid Gwangju police over leak in Jang Yun-gi murder case. The Gwangju District Prosecutor's Office carried out a search and seizure at the Gwansan police station on suspicions that multiple police officers leaked investigative information and destroyed evidence related to the case of a fatal stabbing of a high school student. South Korea's Earth observation satellite successfully put into orbit. A South Korean Earth observation satellite has successfully entered low Earth orbit and made communication with the ground station at the Korea Aerospace Research Institute. This was the Morning Brief. You're listening to hour number 1 of Morning Wave in Busan. And before we jump into top stories, I have a correction. The real field temperature is 30 degrees. It was a typo. Now we're going to turn to Haley for top stories. Let's say hi first. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, we have much to get into. We have updates and breaking news on the U.S.-Iran situation.
That's right. So tensions are rising again with the U.S. military announcing that it has started new strikes against Iran. This news came in just a little under an hour ago. And via the U.S. Central Command, or CENTCOM, it said that forces have begun launching a series of powerful strikes against Iran to impose heavy costs for targeting and attacking commercial shipping crewed by innocent civilians in an international waterway. It also added that Iran's actions, or the supposed actions in the last 24 hours, were unwarranted, dangerous, and a clear violation of the ceasefire. That's pretty much all it has said in terms of the attacks, but we are seeing reports from Iranian state media reporting on explosions heard around the country. So to that end, what were these attacks in response to? Well, in the past 24 hours, attacks have been reported on 3 oil tankers, including on vessels from Qatar and Saudi Arabia on the Strait of Hormuz. And both countries have pointed to Iran as the force behind the attacks, issuing their respective statements of condemnation.
Yes, so that is the latest once again. What did Iran say about these accusations?
So they have rejected these accusations and also said that the United States was acting in bad faith, and we'll get to the part about that later. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson said that commercial vessels that use uncoordinated routes through the Strait of Hormuz or tamper with ship tracking systems expose themselves to risks. So Iran, as we have been reporting on, they've claimed that it has controls over the Strait of Hormuz under the terms of this 60-day MOU agreement, and that ships must go through paths that have been designated by Tehran.
Well, Iran has been increasing its hostile rhetoric.
It has. So an advisor to the Supreme Leader, Mustafa Khamenei, told Iranian state television that U.S. efforts to create an alternative route in the Strait of Hormuz will lead to a failure of negotiations. Also, its foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, said that negotiations on a final deal, because that MOU is just to get the ceasefire talks going, will not start if these threats continue. And this is after U.S. President Donald Trump warned that Washington will reach an agreement with Tehran or, quote, finish the job.
Well, the U.S. also took some economic action.
Right. So the previous comment that I mentioned about Iran saying that the U.S. is acting in bad faith is regarding this particular bit. Earlier, the U.S. Treasury Department has revoked or canceled this general license it had authorized for the sale of Iranian oil. So previously, when talks were going well, or at least perceived to be going well, the U.S. had partially lifted sanctions on Iranian oil exports. However, unnamed U.S. officials told the press that Iran's actions in the Hormuz were entirely unacceptable to the U.S. and will be met with consequences.
Once again, this is the latest of what's happening between the U.S. and Iran. Moving on, we're going to turn to President Lee Jae-myung's trip to the NATO summit in Ankara.
The focus of the NATO summit for President Lee Jae-myung is to expand South Korea's defense industry into the world's biggest defense market. So as you stated, this was the focus of his speech at this defense industry forum. In the keynote speech, President Lee stressed that the world is now in an era of uncertainty marked by geopolitical conflict. And while the military applications of advanced technologies like AI and drones has become a decisive factor for modern warfare, he also called for bolder action and speedier cooperation, promising to expand joint research between South Korea and NATO on cutting-edge technology.
Yes. He also held meetings, I hear, with world leaders on the sidelines.
He did. So he has met with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. This was their first in-person meeting. The president also met with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, and this was hours after what you mentioned in the opening, that announcement of Canada's basically pick of Germany's TKMS for its massive submarine program.
Yes.
The meeting was brief, but the two agreed to continue deepening strategic partnership between their respective countries. And also, apparently, there was an in-depth discussion on AI cooperation. Also, the top diplomats of South Korea, the United States, and Japan signed a Memorandum of Understanding, or an MOU, to establish a framework for trilateral cooperation on accelerating an SMR, or small modular reactor deployments in other countries into the Indo-Pacific.
Thank you for the details on the trip thus far. Now, let's talk about this. The revisions to the Network Act, they have gone into effect, which has also been dubbed the fake news law on online speech. So let's go over the details.
So officially, this is the revised Information and Communications Network Act, widely known as the quote-unquote fake news law, is now in effect as of yesterday. So under the law, YouTubers and any creators who have over 100,000 subscribers and high-traffic TikTok accounts may face punitive damages if they deliberately display unlawful or harmful content for advantage, for their profits. Also, platforms with over 1 million daily active users, so these would be like Naver, Kakao, Google, and Meta, they stand to face steep penalties if they fail to police such content.
Well, I think an important factor to clarify here is who gets to decide whether a piece of content is unlawful or harmful.
Right, so because that would be a clear distinction between censorship or private control. So
Right.
this has been key, as critics have been saying that the government is going to use this law to allegedly suppress free speech. But the first course of action comes from the platforms themselves in terms of their own policy and fact-checking. For penalties, accounts that would be that maybe impose penalties, 과징금, the courts will be involved because the individuals who have been found guilty of posting illegal or falsely manipulated information in a court of law
Yes.
and found guilty of distributing such content repeatedly to make profits will be the ones that are penalized. So there's a whole process that we must get through before the penalties come into place. The government explained that this will not be an ad for the average user, but for those who make money from ads or other forms of revenue on online platforms.
Right. But still, there are concerns about the whole issue of freedom of speech and expression.
There always are, right? So the key will be drawing that line between false information versus opinion or criticism. And because platforms themselves will be left to their own devices and their own terms, one post that's deemed to be in violation may not be on a different platform. So that's something to consider. So this could also lead to a form of kind of culture wars or ideological wars with people bombarding a particular post or a user and reporting them repeatedly to get them under the platform's radar.
Yes.
So experts are saying that the success of this new system will be how transparent the platforms are in disclosing their guidelines and also managing users' reports and objections.
Once again, that law is now in effect. Let's move on to additional international news. There is going to be a new Korea Street in Palestine?
Of all places,
Right.
right? So a Korea Street is in the works right now in the West Bank region that's under the Palestinian Authority as a symbol of appreciation for the work of Korean government support in the region. So this is according to the Representative Office for the Republic of Korea to Palestine. A naming ceremony for this Korea Street will take place Wednesday local time. And the Korea International Cooperation Agency, KOICA, the Palestinian Authority, and the Bethlehem City Hall will be there alongside a startup hub ODA signing ceremony. So this is actually the very first time that a street in Bethlehem is being named after any country, and this is that Bethlehem, one that's of major sacred ground for Christianity.
So what brought about this event or occasion?
Because for the average person,
Yes.
South Korea and Palestine, what connection do we have?
Right.
Well, that connection goes back 21 years of the South Korean government's relationship with the Palestinian Authority. So KOICA's startup hub project is also among the biggest in size in this area. So in fact, the general goodwill for South Koreans in the area also began with Bethlehem's first group tour being a South Korean group tour ever.
Interesting.
Right. So the project actually came about as tourism has unfortunately severely been diminished due to the war in Gaza. Of course, Palestine is divided into two separate territories, but 70% of Bethlehem's economy depends on tourism. So to that end, the KOICA Startup Project provides support for creating a sustainable job market and economic autonomy.
Yes, thanks for letting us know about this one. Additional international news. We got to talk about any updates on the Venezuelan earthquakes. What happened?
And we have updates, but it has all been very unfortunate. So the latest death toll stands at 3,535. That's according to the parliamentary speaker. That's an increase of 193 from the day before. The number of injured stands still at over 16,000, meaning that any bodies they've been found have not been alive. No survivors. And over 17,000 are said to be displaced from their homes. The official number of property damage stands at 856 buildings, with 190 buildings completely collapsed. The government said that they've dispatched 29,000 military and security forces, and they are working alongside some 27,000 volunteers.
Yes.
But again, it's been at 11 days since the earthquake, and chances of survivors, well, those chances are very low.
Yes, and there have been some false reporting on some cases.
Misreporting, perhaps. Well, there have been social media posts yesterday claiming that 4 children were found alive in LaGuardia. Unfortunately, that is not true. This was misreporting as the outlet El Nacional initially made that report, corrected it, saying that the videos that they had aired were from previous days' rescue efforts.
I see. Well, I still want to highlight the 27,000 volunteers who are on the scene, doing everything they can.
They really are. So there's a saying, in a disaster, look for the helpers, and there are 27,000 of them. So volunteer searchers have been on the ground from day one, and even there's been criticism of delayed or insufficient government response.
Yes.
And some groups are called topos, meaning moles, 두더지 in Korean, because they are known to burrow deep into small spaces to look for these missing persons.
Okay.
So according to reports, these are actually not professionally trained rescue workers. They're average citizens, mostly farmers on their own time, who have traveled for hours to hit these disaster areas.
Yes.
The work is, of course, dangerous, not just because they're going through crevices, but also one searcher was taken into custody recently after he criticized the government's response, but he was thankfully released after a public outcry.
Oh, I see. But this tradition of citizen moles goes back years.
Right. This term was actually coined about 40 years ago in Mexico when there was a magnitude 8.1 earthquake that killed more than 20,000 people. The so-called Mexican moles ended up becoming a highly trained search and rescue group, and they've played key roles in other catastrophes, including the 9/11 disaster, the 2004 Indian Ocean's earthquake, and tsunami, as well as Haiti's 2010 earthquake. Going back to Venezuela, for families still waiting for their loved ones, their gratitude is immense. Ending this story with a quote from Mr. Adolfo Guedes, whose daughter is still missing. He said, "We're a united people. We're poor, humble, uneducated, and rough-hewn, but united, and that is valuable."
Indeed. Thanks for telling us about all the updates on that story. And now we're going to talk about the World Cup. So after all of that controversy that we covered, Team USA has been eliminated from the round of 16.
And that loss was big.
Yes.
The loss to Belgium in 1-4. 4 match. So this became very highly anticipated after Andrew addressed it yesterday. U.S. President Donald Trump personally phoned FIFA, or FIFA's president Gianni Infantino, and this resulted in a 1-year suspension of that 1 red card ban, 1 match ban for U.S. striker Florian Balogun's red card. So Belgian players were upset, to say the least, saying that they felt a sense of injustice. So we kind of talked about this during the match, that there was a particular spark to their match. And even after the game, on the official national team social media account, they posted a photo with the caption, "Overturn this." It's a very pointed message. We do have to make it clear, though, the blame does not go to one individual. Actually, that player apparently talked to the Belgian head coach after the game. And there was actually quite a bit of a heartwarming moment with the head coach apparently telling him, "You're not the one to blame." So this, by the way, means that all 3 host nations, the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, are now out.
That's right. Well, let's go over the other round of 16 matches.
Intense game happening right now. As we speak, the Colombia-Egypt match is in extra time, 0-0. So that's still happening. I'll give you any updates as it's unfolding.
Yes.
Argentina versus Egypt. Argentina pulled through again.
Yes.
Another very intense 3-2 game. Now Argentina is in round of 8. Messi scored. He pulled through, and that is his 8th goal in this World Cup.
Right.
Spain advances on after a 1-0 defeat against Portugal, but that also means Cristiano Ronaldo's final World Cup is over.
Sure.
So Ronaldo was in tears as this confirms that he will not have a World Cup trophy in his otherwise very impressive career. So Ronaldo, the 41-year-old, has 5 Ballon d'Ors, 5 Championship League wins with a world record 976 goals for his club and country. He has scored at a record 6 World Cups, but the closest he got to winning the actual cup was when Portugal reached the semifinals in 2006.
Yes. And in news that may get some South Korean fans excited, someone has expressed his intent to coach the national team, and this is a big hint, again.
Are you one of them? You seem to be one of them. I mean, aren't we all? Right?
Just want to move on quickly from the debacle that was.
What's happening, right?
Yes.
Also, Paolo Bento.
Yes.
Bento, Penbozi, has expressed his interest apparently in coaching the men's national team again. This is according to an official from the Korea Football Federation. Bento recently expressed his interest via a KFA employee that is close to. So this is, to be clear, not an official application because, that process isn't open yet.
Yes.
So there's technically nothing to apply to yet. However, it is a confirmation of sorts that he's at least interested. Of course, Bento served as the head coach for the longest single term, 4 years and 4 months. He left, some might say unceremoniously, or had to leave after the 2022 Qatar World Cup, where South Korea did reach the round of 16.
Yes.
And currently, he isn't with the team. So that's all I'll say for now.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
Yes. Well, thank you for all the top stories. And of course, we'll chat in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you soon.
And with that, we are ready for our first song. This is 내 얘길 들어봐 by Papaya.
One with a partner, one with none. Every sound and the sticky situation. Say, one with the love. We going two and one.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's go over some of your responses to our text topic today, which is, where do you like to go grocery shopping? So looking at some of your responses. Okay, so I have from our first, we have Benny who says, for me, of course, the supermarket. We have a lot of them at malls or standalone ones too. So that's in the Philippines. And then we have 녹색 마음 녹구. I hope I said it correctly. I usually go grocery shopping at the 하나 마트 or 다이다. These are the brand names. I'm trying to be creative. Oh, but at 다이다, do they have like produce or maybe like items? That's a great place to go. Other people chiming in saying, some people actually like going to the local market. Leah Neem says local markets in the neighborhood. I love going to the smaller shops. And then they always have like fresh produce. And sometimes, you know what's really trendy these days? Kind of like the alter local marts where it's not even 마트. It's like a small grocery store. And they have whatever is fresh for the day, like out on display. That's like my place to go these days. So thank you for sharing. But for now, we're going to turn to Jennifer for Work Smart, Live Smart. So let's say hi first. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yay.
How are you?
Pretty good. It is Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's hump day. We got to get over the hump together. But what about you? Where do you like going grocery shopping?
Oh, I love grocery shopping. You know, just the browsing through different sections. It's so much fun.
But I have a question. Because for me, like certain things I will buy online, but that's for things that come in like packages.
Oh, yeah.
Not like fresh produce. But I kind of like picking, and even like with the chame,
yeah.
Like, I don't like buying them in the pre-packaged bundles because I like to smell.
Oh, you like to smell your fruit?
Yeah, I like smelling, you know, and to make sure it's like sweet and so
I think I do a bit of both. I use like online supermarket with the delivery service. But like you, I also like to see products like
right, in person,
real
right?
time. Yeah.
What do you think about our producer? 피디님이 이래요. 여기 장 보러 가는 게 최고죠. 부모님 집으로 장 보러 가요. That's what like my kids like to do. They bring a big red cotton bag. 그냥 쓸어 담아요. 그냥 like it's not just like 하나가 아니라 they don't just put it in. They kind of like clear whatever's in the pantry. But
so you always have to have things ready.
Yes,
for them.
Fully stocked. The pantry is always stocked, ready to go. But all right, we're going to jump into our topic for today. What are we talking about?
Since we are officially in the middle of the summer,
yes,
I wanted to talk about something everyone is planning and thinking about.
Oh, which is
vacations. But today we aren't going to talk about travel itineraries or destinations or booking flight.
No.
Instead, I want to explore how the very concept of a summer vacation is undergoing a massive cultural shift, a massive change.
Okay.
The way we define true rest is changing rapidly.
So I think that I've definitely noticed that trend as well, because in the past, like a typical summer vacation meant picking like the absolute peak season, or sometimes you don't even have that choice, right? And battling like massive crowds, going to like the most popular spots or beaches, and then I don't know, sometimes coming back more exhausted,
more stressed out
than when you like took off, right? And so people maybe are looking for something that is more meaningful, maybe a little bit more personal.
Yeah, because in the past, like you said, we used to take vacation at the same time. Everybody went to same destination.
Right. End of July, beginning of August, like it's that time.
Yeah, so we are moving away from a one-size-fits-all holiday to an era of hyper-individualized recovery. To understand this shift, it's actually really helpful to look at how different cultures approach rest. For instance, European has a long-standing tradition of extended summer holidays, and they have developed unique philosophies around doing absolutely nothing and taking like really long vacation.
Oh, well, you know, I always envy. We always hear about Europe. You know, some European countries, they seem to kind of seamlessly transition into like a slowing down.
Yeah.
Like during summer months, it's just like everybody accepts it. It's part of their culture to kind of slow down. So what are maybe some of the specific concepts they use to practice this?
There's a famous one from Italy called dolce far niente, which literally translates to the sweetness of doing nothing.
I love that. That's going to be like my mantra.
It's the art of purely enjoying the present moment without any guilt. Sitting at an outdoor cafe for hours, which I also love to do.
Yes.
Watching the world go by without feeling the need to be really productive or check off a tourist site. It's
so I like
a
that.
little bit like 멍 때리기.
But
a little bit.
one slight level up.
Yeah, a slight level up. That's right. Yeah.
But it just sounds so relaxing, this whole idea of the sweetness of doing nothing. So in this hyper-competitive society we live in, doing nothing often feels kind of like 죄 짓는 것 같아요. Like a sin, like a waste of time, no?
Yeah, it gives us that guilt feeling. But there's another one I want to introduce. There's a fascinating concept from the Netherlands called Nixon.
Nixon.
So it's not only the Italy thing they're doing in other countries as well.
Yes.
Nixon is the Dutch practice of deliberately doing nothing, but with a scientific twist. It's not about mindfulness or meditation. It's literally just letting your mind wander. You might gaze out the window, listen to the rain, or just sit quietly. Neurologists have found that when we practice Nixon, our brain activates what is called the default mode network.
Oh, what is that?
This is when the brain actually cleans out toxic waste, processes emotional stress, and resets its creative energy.
Wow, that's really fascinating. So it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nixon is like kind of a hard reboot for our very tired brain.
We can say that.
Okay. Ooh, so it proves that standing still sometimes is actually a vital part of moving forward then.
Oh, absolutely. But to truly practice these forms of rest, there's a cultural shift that needs to happen inside the office first and inside home first.
Okay.
In the past, taking a long summer vacation often involved a lot of unspoken guilt. We talked about this before.
Yes.
Employees felt they had to justify why they are taking time off, or especially when it's extended holiday.
Yes.
Which led to awkward over-explanations.
Right. You're like going into detail. Well, it's our, I don't know, it's our 15th wedding anniversary and we want to go abroad and we want to do this and we didn't go last year. And it's
Sure.
oversharing, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
But a major trend we are seeing among increasing number of professionals now is the no questions asked vacation culture. Modern management recognizes that time off isn't earned right. You have worked hard, you earn it, right? It's not a favor. Managers no longer ask for detailed reasons.
Really?
Most. And colleagues simply respect the dates without prying. This lack of scrutiny is what actually allows an employee to leave for their vacation with a light heart.
In theory, it sounds so good.
Yeah, we have a long way to go, I know.
And it sounds so healthy. I love the healthy boundaries. And it should go both ways, right? When someone's on a vacation, from your team, I guess the remaining team members, we should also not be making passive-aggressive comments like, it must be really nice lounging around, enjoying your little cocktail.
Oh, that's sarcasm.
While we are drowning in work and picking up the slack. Right, we shouldn't be doing that.
That's right. Cultural maturity means realizing that respecting a teammate's vacation is an investment in your own future vacation.
Yes.
When the team builds a supportive environment free of judgment, that's when people can truly practice the dolce far niente or Nixon. And this blend of psychological safety is completely reshaping how people at work in Korea plan their time off now. They are prioritizing, ultimate comfort.
Yes.
And personal recovery. One huge trend that is that has exploded recently is that what we called 총캉스. Have you heard of
Oh,
총캉스?
yes.
A combination of the Korean word for countryside, 촌, and vacation, 바캉스.
I'm laughing silently because like I've been talking about going on this 총캉스 like for at least 5 years. 근데 매번 돌았으면 누구의 입시, 누구의 뭐가 there was always some reason why I couldn't go.
Yeah.
And it's like that is my dream. To not go to some fancy island resort, just to go somewhere remote. Maybe, wear those really cute,
Really comfortable, old-fashioned.
Like, the floral pants, that have like the elastic band. And just, I don't want to cook though. I want, maybe if it's like a smaller place, like if they can cook for me, even a
grill,
simple meal though.
삼겹살.
And like, I just want to do nothing.
Yeah,
That's my dream
총캉스
vacation.
sounds a lot of fun.
Yes.
It's a deliberate escape from urban noise and digital overstimulation.
Yes.
Stimulation, and they want the absolute opposite of their high-tech, fast-paced city lives. Another major trend is the rise of interest-driven vacation. 취향 다이빙. 휴가가 요즘에 좀 뜨고 있다고 합니다. So instead of sightseeing, they dedicate their entire vacation to a single passion or hobby. Yeah, for example, someone might spend 5 straight days at a quiet temple stay or go to a remote coastal town exclusively to surf.
Wow.
Or even spend their whole week doing nothing but pottery or reading books in a secluded cabin.
Oh, I like that. 취향 다이빙.
네.
Oh, that sounds actually incredibly fulfilling because it's not just like showing off like, oh, I'm at this fancy like 5-star resort, on social media anymore, right?
Yeah.
SNS에 자랑하는 게 아니라 it's about investing time into what truly replenishes your internal battery. So what about people though who prefer not to travel at all?
Oh, there are many people who actually prefer to stay home, right? Yeah, that's where the staycation has truly evolved.
Right.
For many workers, the ultimate luxury isn't traveling, isn't going faraway places. It's having zero obligations. A modern staycation might involve booking a nice hotel just 15 minutes away from home if you can afford it, or ordering like their favorite food, or staying in your own bed for like 48 hours straight. I don't know how that's possible, but
bed rotting for 2 days straight, I don't know.
It's a judgment-free zone where the only goal is absolute comfort.
Ooh, that sounds good. Right. It really shows that it's not about like where you go anymore, about, it's about how you let yourself feel. It's about reclaiming your autonomy over your time.
Yeah, absolutely. But, we also have to acknowledge that absolute autonomy is a luxury that working parents with young children rarely get to enjoy.
Right.
For married professionals with small children,
yes,
summer vacation can often feel like a second shift or a hard labor rather than a break.
I hear that around like the younger couples who have young children. They really do not look forward to summer vacation.
Oh, it's a lot of work, right?
It's not a lie. It's just reality because when they're not going to school and they're always home, that just means extra work.
Yeah, because
it's natural.
Kids constantly want entertainment.
They want to do something.
They don't want this staycation that we want.
No.
Yeah, while like exhausted parents just want to lie down. They always want to play, do something fun. But interesting shift we are seeing now among modern working parents is the rise of a co-recovery vacations.
Co-recovery vacations?
Yeah. So instead of sacrificing their own rest entirely for the kids, parents are seeking out destinations that offer structured kids programs, like specialized nature camps or resort play zones.
Yes.
So the kids can have their own like high energy fun, while the parents get a few hours of genuine, uninterrupted rest time to read or just space out.
I love this idea. I think, if my kids were like, young again, and no, we're not having more children. So I would definitely go for something like this.
Yeah.
Where the kids do their thing and then kind of get worn out by those activities, hopefully, and go to bed early while I'm doing something relaxing.
I mean, why should parents make sacrifice all the time?
All the time, right? I mean, we do it most of the time.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Ah.
right. Yeah. A successful vacation shouldn't require a vacation to recover from. The true professional maturity means knowing exactly what kind of rest your mind, your body need at this specific moment, regardless of what everyone else is doing. We don't need to copy other people.
Yes. I echo that sentiment. So whether it's Nixon, that's a term that's going to stick in my mind at home, or diving into a hobby, which I really love, or going to, I guess, the countryside, simple life, or I don't know, just finding that right balance between, especially if you do have kids, about adult time versus time with the family.
Do you have anything planned for this summer?
It's this is the first time where I really can take a vacation, but I haven't planned anything. So I guess I'll get smacking on that right now.
Okay.
So I will start planning. Well, thank you so much for these wonderful insights, and I hope that our listeners can take a page out of your roadmap, your book today.
I hope so.
All right.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. This was Jennifer, and it is time to wrap up hour number 1. So how about this one? This is what I want to do right now. 딩글딩글 by 선우정. Just kidding. I'll be back at 8.
가장 좋아 특히 밥 먹고서 바로 누우면 소가 된다고 겁을 주던데 나는 원래 소띠라 괜찮아 먹는 것도 귀찮아 씻는 건 당연하고 화장실도 그냥 참을래 인생은 한 방이야 몰아서 한 번에 딱 벼락치기가 최고야 연애도 귀찮아 사람들이 귀찮아 생각하는 게 다 귀찮아 멍청이는 아닌데 깍쟁이도 아니야 계산하는 거 완전 귀찮아 뒹굴뒹굴 대굴대굴 주말을 내내 한 자리에서 한 시간 더 뒹굴뒹굴 대굴대굴 내 몸 하나 놓을 딱 그만큼만 Every day my lazy days my long brain walks so slowly Every day the sleepy days will go slowly I'm the only 알게 뭐 누가 앞질러 가든 이미 난 늦었어 눈을 감아버렸어 어디 가요 이리 와요 여기서 한숨만 돌리고 가 배부르고 따뜻하죠 누워봐요 값이 아주 싸 손도만한 양심 조금 분노의 양치질 닦아버려 비누칠 초콜릿 다 묻히고 먹다가 잠들어버릴 거야 나의 세계는 평온해요 끝없이 펼쳐진 평야가 극세사라며 도망가고 싶어서 살벌한 현실에서 나 약해 빠진 attitude 가진 게 없어서 시간으로 플렉스 분명 후회할 걸 알면서 조금만 더 그러다 하루
1, 2, 3.
Hi, Professor. This is Catherine. Can you hear me?
Hey, Catherine. I hear you great.
Actually, can you say something? Because, can you count from 1 to 10, please?
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
1,
now you're coming
2,
in.
3.
Uh-huh.
Okay, awesome.
Great. So I want to confirm that your
great.
professor, Seth is it Benzel or Benzel?
Benzel.
Benzel, got it.
Poor Benzels are named Benzel.
And also, I want to confirm it's Chapman Universities. I looked it up and it said R.G. Ross. Is that correct? R.G. Ross College of
Yes,
Business and Economics.
like arduous, like Exactly.
Got
Pronounced arduous, like difficult.
Mhm.
Arduous school.
Okay.
Yeah, or arduous college, excuse me.
Got it. All right, so we're good to go. What's going to happen is, by the way, let me check the optics real quick. Can you sit back away from the camera just a tad? Can we find a medium, like an inch forward just a little? Right in between? Okay. Sure. We're good. So if we can maintain that positioning, what's going to happen is in about 3 minutes, I have a short news segment at the top of the hour. It goes on for about 4 minutes, and then we're going to dive right into the special interview. So if you could, after a test call, mute your mic and then unmute right before the interview. Our producer, she'll send you a message to the Zoom chat box reminding you to unmute your mic. Is that going to be okay?
That sounds perfect, Catherine.
Okay. Thank you. I look forward to our interview.
Me too. Thanks for having me.
나게 실려오는 세탁소. 문구와 장난감 사이로 설렘과 이야기가 가득한 오래된 문방구. 아이부터 어른까지 모두의 발길이 머무는 우리 동네 최고의 추억의 장소입니다. 이렇게 작은 가게 하나하나가 모여 골목에 따뜻한 온기를 만들고 그 활기찬 온기들이 모여 우리 지역 경제를 든든하고 힘차게 지켜갑니다. 부산의 47만 소상공인이 내일도 힘차게 일어설 수 있도록 우리 모두의 발걸음과 응원을 더해봅니다. 이 캠페인은 지역을 지키는 소상공인을 응원하는 은행 BNK 부산은행과 부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
아직 어렵게 느껴지는 영어. 아이들 영어는 어떻게 챙기시나요? 부산 영어방송이 준비한 어린이 영어 콘텐츠 세상. BFM 키즈 영상 채널이 여러분을 찾아갑니다. 샘 해밍턴과 윌 벤저스 그리고 모모랜드 낸시가 함께하는 BFM 키즈에서 영어로 듣는 부산 설화와 전래동화, 재밌는 파닉스 영어, 신나는 K-팝 영어까지 만나보세요. 우리 아이의 영어 실력과 창의력을 쑥쑥 키워줄 특별한 어린이 영어 채널 BFM 키즈가 여러분을 기다립니다. 지금 바로 BFM 키즈를 검색하고 구독해주세요.
무엇이든 말하는 대로 만드는 AI의 세상. 하지만 AI로 이 소리를 대신할 수 있을까요? 이토록 푸른 자연의 소리. 우리의 행동으로 대한민국의 푸른 자연을 지켜주세요. 공익광고협의회.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Welcome back. This is 8 o'clock Spotlight News. U.S. launches a tax on Iran. The United States has launched a series of strikes against Iran for attacking commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz, said the U.S. Central Command known as CENTCOM, with Iranian state media reporting explosions heard outside the southern region of the country. Gulf nations, including Saudi Arabia and Qatar, have accused Iran of targeting their tankers in the strait and called on Tehran to immediately cease provocation. Tehran has accused the U.S. of violating the MOU by canceling a temporary waiver on sanctions targeting Iranian oil sales and warned that Tehran will take any measure it deems necessary to protect its interests and national security. President calls for raising defense industry partnership with NATO. President Lee Jae-myung stressed the need to enhance cooperation between South Korea and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, insisting that combining NATO's vast experience with South Korea's advanced defense technology would boost the security capabilities of both sides. He made the remarks in a keynote speech at the Defense Industry Forum held on the sidelines of the annual NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey. He also attended a meeting of NATO's 4 official Asia-Pacific partners and met with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, where the two discussed continued cooperation in the defense industry and critical minerals. Samsung Electronics stocks dropped despite record quarterly report. Shares of Samsung Electronics plummeted nearly 7% yesterday despite posting a record near 90 trillion won second quarter operating profit. The Korea Exchange activated a circuit breaker halting trading for 20 minutes, and the Kospi ended the day at 7,656 points, nearly 5% down. Analysts say that investors are focusing on whether rising capital spending, intensifying competition, and expanding production capacity will generate the earnings growth needed to justify elevated valuations of tech companies. Prosecutors raid Gwangju police over leak in Jang Yoon-gi murder case. The Gwangju District Prosecutor's Office carried out a search and seizure at the Gwangsan police station on suspicions that multiple police officers leaked investigative information and destroyed evidence related to the case of a fatal stabbing of a high school student. Earlier in the day, 6 police officers who were previously assigned to the case were suspended from their duties. A special investigation team yesterday requested an arrest warrant for the police officer who faces allegations of destroying evidence by failing to properly secure the cable ties found inside Jang Yoon-gi's vehicle. South Korea's Earth observation satellite successfully put into orbit. A South Korean Earth observation satellite has successfully entered low Earth orbit and made communication with a ground station at the Korea Aerospace Research Institute. According to the Korea Aerospace Administration, or KASA, the satellite was launched from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California at 12:12 a.m. Tuesday local time on board a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. The space agency said the launch marked a significant achievement in expanding South Korea's private-led satellite development capabilities and will help the country independently secure data needed for agriculture, forestry, climate, and disaster response. This was Spotlight News. It's time for a special interview on this Wednesday morning. Artificial intelligence, AI, is reshaping workplaces around the world, bringing both new opportunities and growing concerns about the future of employment. As more companies adopt AI, many people wonder whether the technology could eventually replace human workers. However, OpenAI's chief economist, Ronnie Chatterjee, recently offered a different perspective. Speaking at a European Central Bank workshop, he argued that AI is more likely to transform jobs than eliminating them, noting that widespread job losses have yet to materialize despite rapid advances in AI. So today we're going to explore what AI could really mean for the future of work. Joining us today is Professor Seth Benzel, assistant professor at Chapman University's Arias College of Business and Economics and co-host of the Justified Posteriors podcast on the economics of AI. Welcome to the program.
Thanks so much for having me, Catherine.
Professor, how would you describe AI's impact on today's labor market? Meaning, are we seeing more job replacement, job transformation, or something else entirely?
Well, it's a great question. I would say one effect that we're seeing for sure is giant increases in demand for people building, researching, financing, and applying AI. There's lots of people making their fortunes as we speak who are located squarely in that field. I think if you look beyond the AI industry, it's still a little bit too early to say which of those effects that you mentioned is going to dominate. If you look at the economic data, there is some hint that some occupations that were relatively more exposed to AI technologies may be seeing decreases in hiring for new workers. But over the 3 years of data we have since AI was first introduced, this generation of AI, there's just so much going on. There's coming off of COVID. There's an increase in interest rates. There's obviously Trump's tariffs. So there's a lot going on, and it's a little bit too early to attribute any particular change in employment in different industries to AI, I think.
Oh, thanks for explaining. Well, as I mentioned, OpenAI's chief economist, Ronnie Chatterjee, recently argued that AI is more likely to transform jobs than actually replace them. So I want your take. Do you agree with this assessment?
I think that's definitely right, especially in the short and medium terms. If you think about AI as it exists right now, it can be very spiky in the sense that it is very good at parts of a job or single tasks, but still needs human help to get it to the finish line sometimes. This is sometimes called the last mile problem. So if you imagine automating a retailer's delivery van, you might still need a human to sit in the van to bring the package to the customer's doorstep. So if you only automate part of that job, which involves driving around and then bringing the package to the doorstep, you don't actually get that much productivity gain. It won't change things. Where you really would unlock productivity benefits is from somehow splitting off the part of the job that's fully automatable from the part of the job that can't be automated. And to the extent that you can kind of reorganize what a job is, if you think about a doctor, they have to diagnose patients, but they also have to have bedside manner and communicate with patients and comfort them. And you can imagine jobs like that getting redefined in the short and medium term as AI is good at one thing and you want to kind of split that off. If you want to talk about employment overall, one thing that should be noted is if you look across countries of the world, countries of very, very different wage levels still all have people that work approximately 40 hours a week when they're in the workforce. So if AI were to greatly increase labor demand and wages went up, probably people would work about the same amount. And if AI was to greatly crush labor demand and wages went down, people would probably work about the same amount. So I think barring, kind of a medium or long-term change where there were big state like a UBI or income programs so people didn't have to work, and now that's getting a little bit farther into the future, until we get there, I don't anticipate overall employment changing all that much because of AI.
Ah, yes. Well, do you think that we have enough reliable data thus far to understand AI's impact on employment? Or is it just it's so early that we just don't have enough data or experience to firmly establish whether, we're going to all be replaced? And already you've alluded to the fact that we're not, right? So is it early on?
Yeah, and I wish I had a more definitive answer for you. But unfortunately, if you think about the last 3 years, a lot of stuff has happened besides AI. So it's just a little bit too early to tease out what's happening. I think from the theoretical side, we have a lot of things we can say. So I made a theoretical argument about why employment might not collapse. I think from a theoretical perspective, one thing that I'm keeping my eyes on in terms of employment changes is the way that the training of new employees and interns happens. And again, some preliminary data here, so I don't want to lean on this too hard. But I've seen some studies that suggest that when AI makes it easier and I've seen this also in my own work and my friends who are also economists, when AI makes it easier to just kind of work with it and to do the kinds of tasks that you would have previously assigned to an intern or an entry-level worker, you just kind of do it yourself. And that intern entry-level work isn't just about, getting busy work off of the senior person's desk. It's also about an easy way to sort of ease people into your industry so that they can learn from the bottom up all of the different pieces. And to the extent that we don't have that kind of happy coincidence of, you get the easy stuff off the senior person's desk and the young person gets to learn something. Now that's not going to the young person. I think there's a serious challenge for organizations and universities to think about how are we going to deliver skills that are going to be relevant to the future differently if this internship model doesn't work as much?
Right. And, here, even in Korea, there are young people who are, attending university or vocational schools, and they're kind of playing this game, trying to guess which occupations, we might expect to change the most. And so young people are really contemplating, what should I major in? And so, in your opinion, which occupations are you expecting the most change?
It seems to me that the occupations that will change the most are the ones that are relatively kind of about information and data processing, so more white-collar jobs than blue-collar jobs. If you're building a building, so it's going to be a while until we have, fully automated robots that are going to be building the building instead of you. And then within white-collar occupations, I think the ones that are going to change the most are, and this is kind of a complicated thought, it's the ones that the people who are good at one part of the job are bad at the other part of the job, right? So, I don't know, let's use StarCraft for an example, right? So if you're playing StarCraft, you've got your macro and you got your micro. You've got your overall strategy and you've got how you move the characters around, right?
Sure.
If you imagine that someone who's good at one is good at both, then if you automate, one of the two, if you automate micro and now you're only focused on macro, the people who are good are going to continue being the people who are good, right? Because you're just taking away part of the job. The people who are already good at it are just going to continue being good. All right. Now imagine that instead the people who were good at micro were bad at macro. Right? Well, now all of a sudden you're going to have a big change, right?
Yes.
Because we've automated micro. And so the people who were good at macro are now going to be superstars. And the people who were good at micro and bad at macro are going to be out of their StarCraft jobs.
So I get it.
So you can try to think about what sort of fields would be more like the one than the other. I think it's going to depend a lot by industry, by occupation, and this is data that's still being collected now, so we're going to find out. I wish I had a more solid answer for your audience.
No. Thank you for the analogy. I think we have a better picture of what to, I guess, maybe expect in the future. And some economists, they suggest that AI could actually increase productivity and also widen income inequality. So is that a risk that you think we should also be paying attention to?
I think that's right. And I would be precise about exactly what kind of inequality we're talking about. And you mentioned income inequality, but I'm going to talk about income inequality and wealth inequality, right? I think income inequality is a more complicated subject. As we just talked about, it really is going to depend from occupation to occupation whether AI is going to kind of bring up the bottom. So for example, there's data coming out from a lot of studies about call center workers, right? Where what AI seems to do is make the worst workers kind of up to the medium tier, right? If you have no idea what you're doing, you can just rely on the chatbot to give you some basic advice and you can be mediocre at it, right? So that would be a setting where you kind of bring up the bottom. And in that case, inequality would go down if you're bringing up the bottom. You can think of other settings where in a kind of a more complex setting where, again, maybe you're good at one part of the job and bad at the other part of the job, where if the people who are relatively good at the job are those who benefit disproportionately from the automation, perhaps because you're automating the part that they're bad at. So you might imagine, a genius architect who's bad at, using CAD to draw up their drawings. If you automate the CAD part, but he can unleash his genius, you might imagine inequality in that industry going up. So at the income inequality level, I think the story is very complicated. It's going to depend on the industry. It's going to depend on the setting. Overall, it's hard to say how that balances out.
I see.
On the wealth inequality side...
Sure.
Yes. If I continue with wealth inequality, on that side, I would say that it's pretty clear that inequality would increase, right? So what all of these technologies tend to do, these AI technologies that automate, is they tend to increase capital share of national income at the expense of labor share of national income. So if you think about all the money in the economy, some of it's getting paid to workers and some of it's being paid to companies and people who own them and people who rent out stuff. Across many parts of the world, that was relatively constant at 2/3 of income was going to labor. Since the 1980s, that's been steadily declining. I think we have every reason to think that AI will continue that trend of decreasing labor's share of national income.
Sure.
And when that happens, that tends to boost people who have capital. And what's special about capital is capital compounds, right? If you've got money in the bank, it's growing exponentially, right? So a high rate of return on investment means that the money you've got in the bank is multiplying faster and faster. And so, in general, things that tend to redistribute from labor to capital tend to raise the interest rate, and a higher interest rate tends to lead to more wealth inequality. Because if you've got a big amount of money in the bank for a long enough period of time, you can start to get away from the rest of us. So income inequality complicated, wealth inequality go up, productivity also go up.
Right. And as we get ready to wrap up our interview today with you, Professor, in a nutshell, I know this is probably going to be the toughest question, though. What should today's workforce and also students focus on developing to remain competitive in this AI-driven economy?
It's a great question. If you're again, we're early days, so this isn't in the empirical data, so I'm just going off of my vibes here.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
what I would say is think about connections and networks on the one hand. How can you think about forming the human connections and the human deal-making that AI just isn't embodied and can't do? And, you know, being out there in the world and making those connections, so developing those social skills. And on the other hand, thinking about moving up the intelligence value chain, right? So to the extent that we first automate the busy work and then we automate sort of the routine coding work, the AI is moving up that chain of more and more complex white-collar work it can do, but still the very highest level sort of organizational ability, the ability to plan out several steps ahead, a month ahead, a year ahead of what you want your business to look like, what you want your research agenda or project to look like years or a decade from now, having that, both that high level ability to keep all the things your AI's agents are doing in your head and coordinated, so both a coordinating ability and a sort of a motivation and drive and organization to stay focused, because I think we're going to be moving into a very distracting time with AI.
Well, thank you so much for your information and your insight and opinion as well. We do appreciate your time. Take care.
Thanks so much. Check out Justified Posterior's podcast.
We will. This was Professor Seth Benzel, and we talked about AI's impact on the future of employment. So that was our special interview. And let's get to your updated traffic and weather. It's time for your updated traffic report. There is an accident on Beonyeongno coming into the city right on Mangmi Ramp. Another accident on Seongjiro from Yeonji 3-way intersection to Children's Park. It's congested on Gwanmun-daero from Sujang Tunnel to Pier number 5. Also backed up on Manduk-daero from Manduk intersection to Manduk Catholic Church. Currently, it is 28 degrees Celsius here in Busan under cloudy skies. It really does feel like 30 already because of the humidity. It's going to go up to the actual temperature up to about 30, but it might feel hotter than that. Busan is under a heat wave impact preliminary weather report across the nation. Heavy rain in Gyeonggi, parts of Gangwon and Chungnam. The rain front is moving up and down the country with heavy rain forecasts across the central area, Honam and Gyeongbuk regions. So please be prepared. Strong winds in Gangwon, the central region, Honam, plus Jeju, blazing heat in the southeastern region. This was your traffic and weather. This is Kissing You by 소녀시대.
입술은 사근사근 그대 이름 부르죠 그대와 발을 맞추며 걷고 너의 두 손을 잡고 네 어깨에 기대어 말하고 싶어 고마워 사랑해 행복만 줄게요 Kissing you all my love 내일은 따스한 햇살 속에 너는 내 옆에 누워 사랑의 노래 불러주며 웃어줘 달콤한 사랑의 기분 좋은 한마디 뚜뚜루뚜뚜뚜 Kissing you baby 뚜뚜루뚜뚜뚜 Loving you baby 눈을 감고 너의 입술에 키스를 하면 내 볼은 핑크빛 문이 들어도 내 맘은 이미 넘어가고 내 가슴엔 두근두근 심장 소리 들리죠 그대와 발을 맞추며 걷고 너의 두 손을 잡고 네 어깨에 기대어 말하고 싶어 고마워 사랑해 행복만 줄게요 Kissing you all my love 내일은 따스한 햇살 속에 너는 내 옆에 누워 사랑의 노래 불러주며 웃어줘 달콤한 사랑의 기분 좋은 한마디 사랑해 사랑해 너만을 사랑해 하는 만큼 언제나 행복하게 환한 웃음 줄게 너만의 소중한 여자친구 약속해 너는 내 옆에 있고 나의 두 눈에 있고 너의 품 안에 항상 내가 있을게 맞추며 걷고 너의 두 손을 잡고 네 어깨에 기대어 말하고 싶어 고마워 사랑해 행복만 줄게요 Kissing you all my love 내일은 따스한 햇살 속에 너는 내 옆에 누워 사랑의 노래 불러주며 웃어줘 달콤한 사랑의 기분 좋은 한마디 달콤한 사랑의 기분 좋은 사랑의 한마디
All right, it's that time. It's time for Food for Thought. Oh, I thought there was a jingle. Apparently not. 뭔가 something missing. 피디님, 저한테 왜 그러세요? What we have? Woo! There it is. There it is. I was like, did I make a mistake?
Silence.
Or like crickets.
But we have, obviously, I'm surrounded by Haley and Leon. Yay!
Good morning.
Oh, we're like,
Oh, we match.
We are totally.
coordinate.
You know
yeah.
what? I'm wearing white pants. Can you guys
Oh,
see?
there. Oh, she's
So it's
showing us.
a sky blue and white day today.
yes, apparently.
Nice, very
oh,
nice.
I like.
Look at
Okay.
that.
And we don't plan ahead of time. Hey, so we have a lot to get into. And I want to give you ample time for your platforms, for you to get on your soapbox and preach, ladies.
Yes.
So this week, we're going to start with Haley.
Doo-doo-doo. All right, so we are going back to this story, which is hopefully wrapping up the whole Gwangju Jail High School and Baeje High School, the baseball team debacle.
Right.
Quite a little bit. Very brief overview. The Baeje High School team, they chanted, "Let's go to Starbucks" and Tank Day. References to the May Democratic Movement and mockery of such. So this is, and by the way, they went to Gwangju yesterday to apologize. And the principal of Gwangju Jail High School and the Alumni Association, they actually are asking that the authorities withdraw the 6-month ban and just give the players a second chance. So we're gonna close that story.
Yes.
Because there's a greater issue at hand. Why would high school students feel the need or feel that it's okay to chant this in the middle of a match against a different school? So this is a part of this greater far-right movement among young people and the general issue of hate speech that's become a part of this weird fun and games culture in some far-right online communities. And to make matters worse, hate speech is actually turning into some real-life threats because over the past weekend, the police received a report of a bomb threat against Gwangju Jail High School.
Goodness.
Right, and they are kind of the victims in this story.
Right.
So the post was made online. The post claimed that this whole case ruined the future of the Paeje High School baseball players.
Wow.
Because they were disciplined and pulled from games for 6 months.
So they're like basically saying it was not that bad that these students
or you're
called out those
overreacting.
names.
Right.
And I don't know. Okay, so
controversial.
And like I feel like ignorance is also a part of it, like lack of historical awareness and just history lessons. But you know, from the whole Starbucks debacle to this, the May Democratic movement in Gwangju, it's been such a target of this type of mockery for years. This is not the first time. It's probably not going to be the last, unfortunately.
I mean, unfortunately. So this began as a part of this authoritarian government propaganda to justify its violent suppression that took place in 1980. So back then, the government made claims that North Korea infiltrated the city of Gwangju and essentially incited the movement. And these were all proven to be false. So for some online communities, since then, mocking this movement has become kind of a meme and a game, and that's according to the May 18th Memorial Foundation. But what might be different is something you said. Is it ignorance? Well, here's the thing.
Yes.
Previously, it may have been politically charged. But for the younger generation, it's a little bit different. It's less politically charged, but fun. Which is it worse? I mean, is it less bad because it's not so hostile and it's not maybe politically, has a political undertone, but is ignorant just as bad? And that seems to be something at the core of the problem, that everything is just, it's just for fun, even hate speech. You're like, why are you so sensitive? This is kind of the anti-PC movement. So teachers, because these are young people, most of them students, teachers are saying this culture of discriminatory or hate speech has become rampant in the classrooms.
Right. And so first we need to figure out, like, how common is this and, like, where are they learning this from?
A lot of these, I mean, the internet.
And parents.
Social media. Well, terms
weird
originate
internet cafes.
Well, that too. For a lot of them from Ilbe, the far right community, and are popularized by it. And they range from being political, regional discrimination. Usually, it is, let's call a spade, about the Southwest region, and misogynistic, anti-women. So students who are on the scene say that, they hear their peers, classmates, just mindlessly repeat these phrases. It's basically 유행어. Not necessarily to maybe attack someone, but just as a part of their everyday vernacular, that it's just become, again, a meme, a trend. So a survey of 177 teachers from late last year to early this year showed that the most common far-right phrases they hear in the classroom, and these are teachers. So kids are saying these in front of teachers. They have to do with one late liberal president. A lot of the others, anti-China. Derogatory expressions, as well as discriminations based on gender, attacking minority groups, and region. So it's interesting. Another problem?
Yes.
How young they are when they start to use these terms.
How young are we talking?
I mean,
like
elementary school. Right.
Like lower elementary?
Unfortunately, kind of
Do
like
they know
mid.
anything about history?
Well, that's the thing. They don't.
They don't know anything. It's
I
just
feel like
name calling.
if they
basically.
did, they wouldn't.
Right.
Right? And it's kind of correlated to, to answer your question, how young are they when they first get their smartphones? And that's... I mean, it's not unrelated.
We could do that as like a 2-hour show on the harms of the smartphone.
Right. So usually by 4th grade is when we start to kind of see. I mean, we can always say, like, how old were we when we learned our first cuss word and said it out loud? I was far too young to say on
We
air.
laugh nervously.
Exactly.
On that one.
But then, I mean, the thing is, like, it was like the S-bomb or the F-bomb, but nowadays it's a little more politically charged.
Yes.
So Korea Diversity Institute report showed that 68% of surveyed teachers said they've come across hate speech by students more often these days than they did 5 or 6 years ago. Because that's something we always say. We're like, is it us becoming 꼰대? Or are the kids actually getting quote-unquote worse these days?
Are they getting worse? What do you think?
I think, well, the stats say they're getting worse.
Like the real feel, though. I just feel like after COVID, there was a nosedive for some reason. Between kids being on like online so much.
Right.
And then
and
like
learning all these terminologies and just saying
just went
it out
downhill.
loud.
Right.
And I think the younger kids may think it's a cool way to derogate the other person.
Right.
Instead of just saying, the simple cuss word like 너 나빠 or something, it's like, hey, I'm going to use these cool quote unquote words, like politically charged words.
Like it seems cooler.
Right.
Yeah.
Seems like you know something, but
Right.
do you?
And so, because obviously we know that you're a parent.
Yes.
A mom of two lovely girls. But what are your thoughts on this as a parent when you hear stuff like this about, like, even let's say fourth graders or even younger saying these things?
I have to be honest, no experience of kids using these words. But I just hope my kids, if they hear these kind of words and they wonder about it, they come to me first and ask, like,
what is
엄마, 이게
this?
무슨 뜻이야? Before just saying it, like, because the other person's saying it, just saying it back. That's just like what I'm afraid of.
It's kind of peer pressure.
Exactly.
All right. So, okay, so those are the kids. What about the adults?
Well, here's the thing. It's always, what about the adults? Did they learn it from the parents? Or, when do they feel safe enough to go to their mom and be like, I'm going to say a bad word and I need you to explain it to
What
me
is it?
without
Right.
putting me in like timeout. So let's talk about the teachers. Well, they feel helpless. Their hands are tied because, the teachers clearly know that this is wrong. But then, number one, when they kind of chastise them or kind of yell at them, hey, you can't say that. They're like, why? Like, why are you so uptight? Like, oh, this is just for fun. 다 해요.
Uptight.
쌤은 저한테만 그래요.
That's a bad
다
word.
해요. 저도 했는데요. It's like,
and you know what I say to that as a parent? Like, once in a while, my kids would say something like, but she did. 그럼 그 집 가서 살아. Like, no, my whole point being, but not in my house.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
it's a hard no.
right.
Just saying.
That's
Yeah.
what all like parental figures say. I've said that a lot. And they're like, oh, well, I was just kidding. And then
No.
the teachers kind of feel like awkward because, they've made such light of it. They don't want to be so uptight. That really kind of takes the wind like out from your cause. You're like, well, I don't want to be uptight.
Yeah, you want to be the cool teacher, but at the same time, you want to be on the right side of history. And
Speaking of which,
Yes.
even if they wanted to or did plan a history lesson of, hey, this is what it is,
Yes.
some parents might not agree with you. And you know what parents do these days when they don't agree with you?
Yeah, they report you.
Call the principal and
Yeah.
they write on the education office website, so 민원. So jumping in, politicians have jumped in, even this PEZ case. And here's the thing, like if you let kids fight, not that this is that, but like, if kids can figure it out,
Yes.
it stays a small problem. When the adults get involved, it blows up, and politicians got involved. So this is like the most blown up as it can get. Some are kind of saying, again, you're trying to ruin these young people's lives. I mean, although we do have to say, credit where it's due, parents are trying to self-correct, not
Yes.
just the PEZ players' parents, but an online community of some high school baseball players' parents said,
Yes.
everybody's responsible. We've been so wrapped up in this win culture. We've
Yes.
basically told all the kids because it's connected to their college. So just the numbers, stats are everything. And they've
Right.
cast aside the spirit of sportsmanship. And I do have to say, though, in terms of this being perceived as excessive,
Yes.
the Major League Baseball and 5 European football leagues, they have zero tolerance policy against racism or hate crimes, even for fans. Fans
Okay.
get ejected from the stadium and charges are pressed. So yeah, players, team officials make discriminatory comment. They get fairly lengthy suspensions or huge fines.
Right.
The Korean baseball organizations, they have rules on players, but no such rules for fans or team officials.
Right. So I want to give you a brief moment. What's your takeaway, Haley?
So globally, we have seen this kind of tilt to the far right. But here's the point. The kids in South Korea, I feel like, are raised in a very sterile academic greenhouse. They're being sheltered. So, they get in trouble if they kind of think outside the box, because outside the box isn't going to get you the scores or the CSATs. So the classes are silenced. It's just according to the textbook. And we do have fairly low ranking in the OECD when it comes to discerning information as fact versus opinion.
Yes.
Basically, they don't know what's right or wrong or what's right or opinion. So this baseball debacle may be one picture of a larger problem that we've coddled the kids so much into being the best test takers,
Yes.
but excluded all the other values.
Oh, that's so.
All right.
On point.
Well, thank you for giving us really good food for thought. That's the whole point of this segment. And now we're going to toss it over to Leon.
Yes. So today I want to talk about what's happening to one of the biggest supermarkets in Korea, which is Home Plus.
But before we get into it, text topic. Full stop. Text topic is, where do you guys go grocery shopping? Where do you like to go? So I'll go with Leon and then I'll ask Haley too.
Not Home Plus anymore or any of the major marts because honestly, it's too hard to get there anymore. They're all closed down.
없어요. 없어 이제.
For my grocery, I do 쿠땡, 쿠팡. And then for like cheap household products, I go to the place where they have everything. 다 있는 곳, 다 거기로 갑니다.
Right. Okay.
That's basically two of my major shopping centers.
Oh.
What about you?
What about for Haley or your household?
Yeah, my household. So we have a membership at one of the
warehouses,
the T. And then we do. I do the online shopping in my household for things, the non-perishables and whatnot. But my mom, she loves her 시장.
The traditional
markets, and I always trail behind because I'm the bell lady,
the carrier.
I'm the carrier.
You're the.
My mom calls me the 우리 집 장사. I'm like the 천하장사. I carry everything.
Thank you for sharing.
What about you, Catherine?
For me, I do a combination of the non-perishables, shampoo, etc., soap online. Everything else, I kind of like touching, feeling, smelling.
So you go to the big markets, but big marts
yes.
then? Oh.
The one that does the sumok 돌풍. That's all I can say.
I love that one. yes, okay. I know which one you're
talking
about.
You know which one. If you know, you know. Mm-hmm. So,
right.
Let's talk about.
So, yeah, I wanted to talk about what's happening to one of the biggest change, which is Home Plus. Because Home Plus, for those who aren't really knowledgeable about how big of a supermarket it used to be. It used to be where a lot of the families went on weekends to buy groceries.
And everything.
Kids buy their snack. It was kind of like an outing, right? It was like a trip.
Right.
And you get like fried chicken, like ready-made meals, and then school supplies. It's like a traditional like big mart. But then also one of my favorite parts of 맛보기.
Of course.
The sample.
Like you have to go a little hungry, not too hungry because you're going to be a little bit too crazy lining up at every 맛보기 station. But that's why I went. So sadly, recently, Home Plus stores have been looking almost empty. Have you guys been? The one in Centum here, they closed down. Yeah, but like it seemed like they were ready to close down for
years,
quite a long time, right?
Well, the thing was, I live near Kaya, and that store was poppin'.
Oh, really?
But yeah, and the thing is, the one in Centum too, before the parent company debacle.
Right.
But
yes,
it was a surprise to everybody because they were just like, oh, 폐업합니다. I'm like, yeah.
갑자기?
There are
at
people
least for
still
like 2
pouring
years,
in and out.
Yeah.
It was the decline. You could feel it.
You could feel it. Like there was like less of the fresh products and more of the non-perishable products.
And their own brand.
And their own brand. That's true. So the shelves haven't been looking normal for quite some time now. The store, they were technically open for some time, but like we said, it seemed like it was ready to close down any minute. So we are witnessing right now of the fall of a very big retail giant. And the shocking thing is that Home Plus used to be one of Korea's biggest hypermarket brands.
Right.
It was competing directly with mart brands like E-Mart and Lotte Mart.
Exactly.
It was up there. So, it used to have the food courts, the cultural centers, a 문화 center as well.
좋았는데.
Bakeries, yes. It was like a cultural, multicultural complex, right?
Yes.
And we are now seeing, do you guys have any, before we talk about the collapse of it, any good memories at these types of big
We used to
marts?
dine out at the food court at the H brand. Yeah.
Right. I used to go to the one in Marine City. And that one was good.
One was good.
That one was good. They even had like a 4D ride. Like a roller coaster 4D. They had everything there.
They had everything
there.
I live nearby.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
my thing was every summer they would have like a full rack of 냉감 에어컨 바지.
냉장고 바지.
냉장고 바지. And then if I were stressed or I just wanted to buy something, you have those days.
Yeah.
Retail therapy.
잠옷이나 바지 하나 사고 싶을 때 더우니까.
So that's
where you go and buy a little bit of thing.
Right.
So what happened to these Home Plus? So what happened was they were the Home Plus was acquired by MBK Partners, which was a private equity fund back in 2015.
Right.
A lot of the acquisition was financed through debt, though. And so over the years, Home Plus had to sell many of its valuable store assets and lease them back. So on paper, the company were raising money, but in reality, it also had to continue to pay massive rent costs.
Yes.
So the retail world, and at the same time, the retail world was changing very quickly because like people like me, everyone was going to Coupang blew up, right?
Not just you.
Like ever since COVID, it blew up. Online grocery delivery became so normal that people can't fathom actually taking a car to go grocery shopping anymore. And, you know, convenience stores became very stronger as well. You know, all these 편의점, they're getting bigger and they're having so much more on their racks now.
Right.
Like a mini mart almost. And then we also have to talk about, you know, 다 있는 그곳.
Yes,
the other store. And then department stores have been changing their marketing to more premium.
Right.
So they are really targeting that people, like, if you want premium products, you have to just come to us.
Higher quality and higher prices.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, you know, the old model of where, you know, it's time for we have to go to a mart and buy everything is kind of gone away.
Right.
Because we have all these other online platforms that we go to for specific goods, and then for offline, another category. So I was going to ask you how you guys do your shopping, but we did cover that already.
Right.
So, you know, this is not only a problem for Home Plus, but in general, large supermarkets or 대형마트 seems to be going through a structural crisis in Korea right now. So according to recent retail data, large mart sales have been falling. Food sales are down, household goods are down. And it's not just sales, but the number of stores are also decreasing as well.
Right.
So Home Plus had more than 140 stores just a couple of years ago. But now the number has fallen sharply. You know, Lotte Mart, I used to have one near my house, gone. Even E-Mart, I'm afraid it's going to go away because
that's like the last one left.
That's my last and one and only hope.
And some people say that the only reason that they've survived is because they quickly adapted to the delivery system.
Exactly.
Yes.
The delivery platforms, they have to go on those. Anyways, and also, the question is, are people buying less? Obviously not. Retail sales are still growing in some other areas, like department stores sales have been doing quite well. Convenience stores, we're seeing more and more convenience stores, right, coming up. And, you know, Daiso is always packed. And then we have to talk about the pharmacies as well, because
the pharmacies.
Those are becoming very touristy spots.
Sure.
Like, have you been to these pharmacies that I want to talk about?
The huge ones?
The huge one.
Right.
The warehouse ones?
Yeah, we used to see like Olive Thing. And we're like, okay, I understand why this one's getting popular. But now, in the past year or so, pharmacies have becoming something like of Olive
Like they have, my friends came from the U.S. and they're like non-Korean friends. They had a list of like, hey, so there's like this retinol cream at a pharmacy. I'm like, okay.
I
want a certain concentrate. I'm like, so I just went. I was like, 이거 있어? I'm like, 네. And
it's
they
the retinol, it's the PDRN, and
if
I went to Seoul recently and there was a pharmacy there,
the one underground.
약국이라고 써져 있는데. Nothing says it's a typical pharmacy because it was all K-beauty products, like the rankings and all the creams and all the facial masks. So,
right.
So these marts, no one's going there for beauty products anymore either because pharmacies are taking up a big bunch of that piece of the pie as well. And then I also have to talk about one of the biggest reasons marts are going away is because of the rise of Daiso, right? Because they're getting bigger and bigger to the point where they have everything, right? And one of the selling points for Daiso, experts say, is because it's not just because you can get everything there. It's also because it's kind of like a mini pop culture store. So they do a lot of collaboration with like a lot of brands, like Toy Story right now, for example. Or they have cute stationery, key rings, pouches, all these character items. And of course, the price is the biggest weapon because everything is up to 5,000 won, right?
I've seen people get mad. They're like, wait, so if they were able to make this for 5,000 won, like how much have other retailers been ripping us off for?
Exactly.
And then some people might say, hey,
you know, maybe the quality is a little different.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, in terms of the big marts going away, Leon and
Yes.
Haley, what are your thoughts on this? So, like, because we have some good memories at some of these like bigger the 대형마트.
I'm just sad though, to be honest, because I loved taking the cart around, having the sishik
samples.
corners,
Yeah.
Taking your time though, also, right?
Yeah, taking
Like
my
an
time.
outing.
And my thing is, I like looking at imported products.
Sure.
Like, because their packaging is kind of pretty. Like for toothpaste.
fancy pasta.
Yeah. I mean, they're expensive, but
Right.
I still get to look at all of the different packagings. And I feel like I'm like traveling a little bit, like abroad. Like this is from France. This is from Italy. Like, but online we don't really get to
Right.
touch and see the packaging or really smell anything either.
Sure, and we can't leave out the fact that people in rural areas without access to
Exactly.
these types of marts or even these middle-sized marts or markets as well, they might they're losing access to these places.
And then
right?
if you don't have very like high online presence, like if you don't know how to use the kuteng and the deliveries,
Yes.
some people, elderly especially, they do need to go to the marts and shop.
Exactly.
That's my
true.
concern
And
too.
if they don't have any 청년들 around, if they have to be tech savvy, right?
Right.
Because these applications, they require you to change passwords every, couple of years. And,
Sure.
And we have updates on our phone. So, I mean, if they can't do that, they literally have to drive out for so far to go to a mart. So that's a reality that the rural areas are facing.
Yes.
So,
in a nutshell, yes, what would you say, Leon?
So people are shopping, continuously shopping. It's just that the whole, I guess, the scenery of shopping is changing. No more
Yes.
marts. People are just going for specialized application platforms to do their typical shopping. And I think it's just, Home Plus is just one example of,
A sign of the times, maybe.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for bringing us two very different but relatable real items for our listeners or waivers. And of course, I look forward to next week. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. It's time to wrap up today's program on this hump day. So how about this one? 푸르게 by Daybreak. Wishing you a beautiful Wednesday. Bye, everybody.
뜨거운데 너로 짙어진 이 여름이 짜릿해 너의 찬란한 미소 속에 잊고 싶은 건 다 잊어버리고 하고 싶은 건 다 할 수 있게 해 푸르른 나의 꿈결 같은 날들에 한가운데서 부르자 너와 나의 푸르른 노래 너와 내게 머물러 오래 어느 시간 속에 놓여 있어도 부르게 이토록 많고 많은 나날들 중에 많고 많은 사람들 중에 오직 너만이 날 활짝 피게 해 부르게 이 여름 속에 구겨진 나의 마음에 네가 보게 어져 점점 더 너를 닮아 펴지는 내가 바람에 실려 훨훨 날아가게 파도에 맞서 숨 쉴 수 있게 해 푸르른 나의 꿈결 같은 날들에 한가운데서 부르자 너와 나의 푸르른 노래 너와 내게 위에 푸르른 노래 너와 내게 머물러 오래 어느 시